Yeah, we left it late. Fun one for sure. I think that's a different style than we see normally. Good team they were, and yeah, but we're happy to be moving on. I think, we felt a little bit of frustration of not moving on last year, so we knew it was in our hands tonight, and we got the job done in the end.
Cole, we saw you kind of in the scrum with the ref after that offside was overturned. Just what was that conversation like, and did you kind of make the call?
He did not say much, to be honest. We kept asking him, like, is it clear and obvious that it was onside? And looking back at it, I don't think it was. But yeah, they made the decision. We had to respond to that afterwards. I think we still had 10 minutes or so at the time. So yeah, in a moment like that, you could kind of be like, oh, we lost it. But a lot of the guys just stepped up, and we all looked at each other. We said 10 minutes, and yeah, we went up from there. And I think we kept pushing, and that's kind of what got us the equalizer.
Cole, go ahead. To see Hoffa get his first in 8 games, just how special was that given the circumstances, the must-win game, and how late it was?
No, it was sweet. Special for him, I think. After, he didn't know much about the one that flashed across the goal, but I think for him, he said to me, he was like, oh, I should have scored that one. How do I miss it? And I was like, no, just keep having confidence throughout the game. You'll get your chance. And he did. I mean, it was really good from Keegan to put that across. A lot of guys would shoot that, but he did really well to put it across, and then Rafa's in the right spot, and that's what we need our number 9 to do. And he stepped up big, and then, especially in the penalty shootout as well. Like, he's missed his last 3, I think, so for him to step up with confidence and take that, I think that was big as well.
Well, you guys got into a lot of good areas, and whether it was somebody passing off or maybe hesitating a little bit, the final product or the aggression to go for it wasn't necessarily there, more so in the first half. Was there something stylistically or tactically in there? Was it just on the night? How are you guys trying to deal with that as the game went on?
Yeah, Chris Little, I think, set us up really well in terms of getting into good spots, and we did get into a lot of good spots, but it was that final decision, final pass maybe, guys maybe not in the right area when the ball's played across the box to finish it off like we did on the last goal. But we had a lot of 2v1s against our outside back, and we just didn't execute with the pass to play him through and then the first time ball across. But I still think we had moments. We just didn't test the keeper enough, in my opinion. We got into a lot of good spots, and a lot of guys were looking for the extra pass, and maybe there was times where we could pull the trigger. So I think that's something to look forward to the next game, because I think, not every Liga MX team is similar, but there's definitely a certain style that we think we can exploit, and we saw that tonight, that we got in a lot of good spots, but it's about that final product now.
Is Colorado officially Cello's favorite club team now? Do they win the derby?
I hope so. I have no clue yet. You got to ask him that.
Cole, you mentioned different styles of play. Georgia also mentioned the antics that you see with Liga MX teams that you don't necessarily see with MLS teams. Would you agree that the antics were a nuisance, and then how do you overcome that?
Yeah, they always are, but we knew they were going to be, and Chris said that at halftime. He said it to us when we had water breaks, when there was a couple fouls. He was like, stay in the game. Don't let your mind go, especially for me in the first half. I felt like I got a pretty dumb yellow that wasn't a yellow, so then you just kind of have to manage that. He kept saying, keep your head, don't focus on what's, external, focus on what you can control. And yeah, we knew that was going to come. I think the one thing that maybe we can do a better job at is continuing to push the ref to, speed things up and stuff like that, and get more players around the guys that are taking so long. But in the end, I think we did a good job. We didn't let those things affect us, and even when they're trying to waste time down the corner, we get the ball back, and then we end up scoring. So I think we dealt with it fairly well, but we got to be prepared for it in the next couple games as well.
Did you get an exact explanation for your yellow?
He said my hand hit his face, so I guess that's why I was yelling.
Did it?
I didn't think so.
Cole, we've seen you've been on penalties, Georgie's been on penalties, Hoffa's been on that. So the three of you and Zach maybe have a lot of prep on that, but the team as a whole, I guess maybe Bombi with Canada, his third one
he's
now.
had a few.
How is Chris Armas and the rest of the coaching staff preparing you guys for this, even going back to last Thursday, and how do you feel about the prep regardless of the outcome?
Yeah, having a week, I think, helped us in terms of penalties a lot. The teams that maybe didn't have as much downtime as we had, maybe just had to have guys step up quicker. But we had a full week of training where every single day we had penalties included in our practices, and that led into the game. So before each game, you'd start with 2 penalties, and every single guy would step up. And if you missed one, then the other team would start up 1-0. So then you'd have to come back in the game. So they used that as a mechanism to kind of get us ready, and you had everybody take a PK. It wasn't the same guys stepping up every single time. So then we had that, and we knew our order. Sharpie had the set pieces, and he had our whole order ready. So we kind of knew who was going to step up, and we felt confident in our group. And then we knew Zach was. We told him save 1, and we got you. He saved 2. So I think it was a special performance from him tonight. I mean, that save at the end of the first half keeps us in it as well. So yeah, it was big time from him.
What's your level of concern for conceding first the past couple games?
I think we just need to score first. I think that's maybe on us a little bit more. Portland, yeah, it was a different game, but this one, we had so many chances to put it away, and then you give up a goal late because you're trying to chase and score one. I'm not too concerned about that. I think that's more on the offensive side, that we're not putting chances away sooner. And then if you do that, I think that puts a little bit of pressure off the defense, and then you can transition from there.
What did the boys think of Georgie's new haircut?
We were surprised, very surprised. I don't know if he told you the story on it, but yeah, we were.
What's the story?
Chris said this is like you.
Yeah, he said if they made it through the knockout round, he'd shave his head, and then I'll let him tell you guys about the rest of it. But yeah, it wasn't a straight razor that he used to do that. So, but it'll grow back. It grows back quick.
From going from having a full week of practice to now only having 3 days with FC Juarez coming into you guys' house here on Friday night, what do you feel that you personally can work on, and what do you think the team really needs to address in order to make it to the round of 16?
Yeah, I need to watch them first, but I do think they'll have a similar sort of style and that they're really going to transition. That was probably one of the best, if not the best, teams we've seen this year in terms of pace going forward. And once they get the ball forward, everybody runs forward. So I think we'll have to deal with that. I felt like we dealt with it pretty well, but we did give up 2 big chances, the one that Zach saves and then the goal that they score. So we just got to get used to that, I'd say, a bit more. And then for us, I think we realize against these Liga MX teams that we're going to have time once we get near the attacking third, and it's all about decision making. So I think that's not something that we need to focus on necessarily for Juarez, but in terms of us, we got into the good areas a lot, but we didn't pick the right ball or we didn't calm down a little bit. So I think that's what we can focus on going to the next game, and it's not necessarily just for Juarez.